Hey, hey. All right, guys. So, welcome back to part two here. If you saw part one, then you know where we're picking up. If you didn't see part one, there's a free link right there in the description box. Thank you guys before we get started for giving us a thumbs up and subscribing. Really appreciate you guys being here. Also, don't forget, I will be going live this week for subscribers doing storytellings. So, keep your notification bells turned on. I'll be doing that on both channels, this one and my other channel, Tarot Dog. So, anyway, just FYI, thank you guys so much for your support. So we have got a Queen of Swords, that King of Swords, sandwiched around the Seven of Cups and the Nine of Cups. So I wanted to look at this because we basically focused on what he's leaving behind, what this King of Swords is leaving behind, but not on where he's headed. This is somebody who seems to be making their move. And we talked a lot about kind of the motivation for moving on in part one. So let's get to this component, okay? So we have him wanting to be a part of a King and Queen of Swords. This is where his emotions seem to be driving him, propelling him, realizing he was the one dragging his heels. He was the one not stepping forward to pursue what seems to be a relationship. Like that was him either hanging back or holding back in the past. And I do want to ask this before we jump into the portion of this about the King and the Queen of Swords. Ultimately, what is motivating him to move specifically toward the Queen of Swords? We have that Two of Wands again sideways. In part one, we saw him with that Two of Wands, like he had taken considerable time trying to decide which path to take. We had seen him, suddenly getting unstuck and feeling like it made sense. I said it was like he's taking a shower and he's like, you know what the heck am I doing? This has everything to do with, the peace and the harmony. I would say his biggest motivation is to actually try living his life in a different way. Oof, 8 of Swords, 10 of Swords. This is a big change for him. He has mulled over and thought about making this big change in his life for a long time. The change being to move toward the Queen of Swords. Somebody he would have to unveil himself to, reveal himself to, somebody he'd maybe have to be more vulnerable with. If that's what kept him in some previous connection for a period of time, is he wasn't sure if he wanted to be in a vulnerable connection where there were real emotions involved. This is not a comfortable place for him to be, to open up emotions. But on the other hand, it's even less comfortable for him to keep dodging his entire life, dodging forming an emotional bond. So he's consciously saying, this is a turning point in my life. I can't stay in a relationship that's companionable but doesn't have love. I actually, although this may be very scary to be vulnerable, he has to move toward the Queen of Swords. He has to. That's where we're at in this. Okay, so can I just take a look? Who is our Queen of Swords? Obviously, she could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. She is dressed for a wedding. So I have to say he sees her as the person he wants to marry. Queen of Swords is the Queen of Swords. We literally have her to identify herself. And 10 of Cups in the reverse. She is somebody who has been very devastated. In truth, this whole thing has made her very, very sad, very sorrowful. How is it that you ended up in a 10 of Cups in the reverse, Queen of Swords? We have an Empress because he was married. He was married to somebody else and it wasn't me. And it meant I needed to move along. We see her riding her horse away. So I do feel like this Queen of Swords has left the building, so to speak. When he didn't choose to come toward her, when he didn't choose to pursue things with her, she left, which makes perfect sense. I mean, she's like, well, he's married. Were you aware of that when you first met him? I'm just curious. 7 of Wands, yes. She was aware of this. Was this a relationship where two people meet and it's like there's this vibe, there's this bond, there's this feeling between us, but you're already with someone, and even if you're unhappily married or if it's a marriage of convenience, still doesn't mean that you're available, because it says there were obstacles. And we have kind of like the carrot, like the carrot being dangled or something. But I think she said, no, I'm not somebody who's going to lure someone away. That's why she doesn't hold the carrot out and dangle it, be like, well, you could be with me. She's not that kind. It's like the hurdle is you're married. So no, I won't have anything to do with you. But let me just ask, what was your connection to him? How did you feel? Queen of Cups. Look, the heart doesn't, have confines around it. She loved him, even if it's like, yeah, I can love you, I can have emotion for you, but I will not be with somebody that's already in a connection, nor will I dangle, myself out as the fruit that you can have as long as you do this or that. I think she's way too much of a queen to do anything like that. I think she acknowledged, I can't help it, for some reason I fell in love with him. I do love him, and he belongs to somebody else. And as long as he stays with somebody else, I need to stay away. Like, that's the vibe I get from her. All right. King of Swords. What'd you think of this Queen of Swords? I think we need to go this deck. Hang on. What'd you think of her, especially initially? What'd you think of her? Two of Swords, Seven of Swords. He tried to pretend he wasn't in love. He tried to block what he knew, probably from the first time seeing her. And we already saw the Two of Swords in regards to her back in part 1 as well. He tried to block what he knew. I got a message in part 1 from like his guide, because he had a raven sitting right next to him back in part 1, right here. And I had said, okay, so let's take a look. What is his message? And sure enough, here's that raven. Like, he knew from day one. He knew immediately. And particularly, it's been amplified during this year of the snake. Look, that green can represent he was trying to deny the growth of emotions that he had for her, or it can be anything from, wanting to nurture a connection. It can be horny. It can be green, can be a lot of different things. Usually, though, it's the heart chakra. And so I would just say she, Queen of Cups, he knew immediately. She loves me. I can see it just in her eyes. I know I want to take a leap of faith toward her. I wish I could just feel safe opening up emotionally and moving toward her. It's like he knew from the gate, but it was also like, oh God, this is terrible. I have to block this, because if I were to be with her, I'd have to leave another connection. But most importantly is I would have to open up emotionally to her. Now, here's the thing. She woke him up. This Queen of Swords, who is also a Queen of Cups, woke him up emotionally. He wanted to see what that would feel like to bond with somebody at an emotional level. What makes her so different? What would make you want to bond to her? Whereas you chose a relationship that you didn't have to open up to at all. Ooh, Five of Swords. And we got the guides all around this, right? We have all the ancestors coming around. Five of Swords is usually about, fighting, arguing, trying to keep boundaries up, or trying to win. The thing is with her, it's like he already thought, I could maybe stop fighting emotions. I could maybe stop fighting maybe everything. Vulnerability. We see, it's like he knew right away I would feel safe with her, because I can already tell she's not out to get me. She's not here to fight with me. She would fight for me. She would fight for the connection, but she wouldn't fight against me for, I don't know if he was around or maybe had a lifetime of being around people that were just always like adversarial. Like, even if he was born and raised into a family where everybody was always like watching their back, because everybody had some plan to one up each other, that could explain even why he initially chose a relationship where it was like compatible but without love, because it was like, well, this is at least better than the life I've had, which is everybody's out to get each other. It's calculating. It's adversarial. So instead he chooses a relationship that's just complacent, but he's not risking putting his emotions into anything. And now over time, he's like, but I actually want to have emotions, and I have emotions with someone. And not only that, I can read her. This Queen of Swords is actually Queen of Cups. She's loving. This is something that, I want to experience this. We have an Ace of Cups. Plain and simple, he fell in love with her. Plain and simple, a piece of him blossomed. Again, way more amplified this year. You see that our angel is holding the serpent. You see something is opening up like in the belly. So, I don't know if Granted, this is blue, which would be the color of the throat chakra, but we have more the abdomen opening up. So, I could put that somewhere around more like, sacral chakra into solar plexus chakra, house of, emotion, sensuality, and then willpower, but kind of like right there in that mid torso section. And then we have the third eye, like extremely highlighted here. I feel like, plain and simple, the energy of like divine energy has awakened him. And it's love. He fell in love with her, plain and simple. And why do we fall in love with anyone? There was a sincerity to her. There's a gentleness to her. There's a loving energy that came across as so sincere. I feel like she's very good at not only speaking with her eyes, speaking from her heart through her eyes, but also she may be very, very good at connecting to him and actually like giving him even like the sincerity of how she feels, but still with the boundaries of just because I can express, even if I don't say it with words, I can express that I sincerely feel emotion towards you. Remember, she's also that Queen of Swords who said, but here's the blockage. The blockage is you have somebody else. And she didn't dangle any characters and be like, well, you could be with me. She is not a come on kind of queen. She is somebody who's like, it's if anything, she's the one with her head tilted down and riding solo on her horse away. This is somebody with tremendous self-respect, integrity, and honesty in how she feels. She doesn't hide how she feels on one hand, but she also she's not trying to be a homewrecker or anything like that. I want to go back over here to that 7 of Cups that we had. In part 1, actually, let's stick with him on this. Tell me about the 7 of Cups. Why is it there? High Priestess. He doesn't know how to explain what this bond is between them, only that it's there. This is unlike any connection he's ever felt. He has not had this kind of energy between himself and anyone before. Again, it makes sense because he has awakened to this divine connection, right? We saw that with him, with that angel, the divine energy, that Ace of Cups. He doesn't know how to put it into words. And even here, that might be why he has 2 sets of hands. It's like normally I can say things, but I can understand the world around me, but I can't understand it when it comes to her because it's so hard to express. I just know. I can't quantify it. It doesn't make any sense. I can't give a better explanation other than I just know that I'm supposed to be with her. Plain and simply, he's in love with her too. Tell me about that 9 of Cups. We have, to go back to like that sacral chakra / solar plexus, a little bit more solar plexus region, I would say here is a house of willpower for her. With this keyhole opening up and all these butterflies flying out. Butterflies are transformation. This 9 of Cups is about happiness. And we have the Star. And if we go back all the way to part 1, if you saw part 1, you know what I'm talking about. Our very first card out was the Star back in part 1. And I said, it's like he's showering clean. He's taking a shower in the morning and it's like, something is making sense to me now. I know what I need to do. There's this wish that I have. I'm realizing I want to open up my emotions. I'm realizing it would make me really happy to open up my emotions. But in order to do that, I have to leave the connection I've been in, which is one of complacency, in order that I can pursue things with the Queen of Swords. There was never a time when he didn't know he was in love with the Queen of Swords, but we're dealing with a king who has not understood what love is until this point in time. They haven't had love. They haven't had that kind of connection before. It's not to be disrespectful and say, oh, I don't know, maybe I want this other person or maybe I want her. Let me see which is the best bet. No. It's not that. This is so unfamiliar for him. This is like he's waking up for the first time in his entire life to an emotional bond. Before then, it was adversarial. Then it was finding a relationship that was just complacent. And now he wants something that is actually a loving bond. I don't even know if he's ever considered what it would feel like to really be happy until her. And until then, he had to like adjust and think about this and consider, what is it that I'm really saying? I'm saying I'd like to be happy. And I'm saying having an emotional bond would make me happy. Okay, we have a mic drop moment, guys. We got the Two of Cups. Of course, this makes sense now. It even makes sense to him, although it's not like he can necessarily put it into a perfect context, but he definitely can say it's a Two of Cups relationship. That's what she is to me. It's against rhyme or reason. There is no explanation. It is simply, I am made for her, she is made for me. That's how he feels about his Queen of Swords. So you are headed to your Queen of Swords unequivocally, obviously. How swiftly do you make your way to her? Because I would just say this is finally, he's come to this shining truth in his life. And here he is, King of Swords, Three of Wands in the reverse. He comes to her now, not 3 days, not 3 months from now, but now. No more that, yes, still within Year of the Snake. We see, that green eye, which again could be, I'm likening it to what we saw with the emerald being held in his guide's beak. That heart chakra. He can't wait any longer. If he has to take a flight to get to her, he will. This has been a very cohesive 2-part story. I mean, we keep getting the same characters. We keep getting the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So we know that's who these two are. But also the fact that this Queen of Swords to the King of Swords, they're both very cerebral, probably because they've had a 5D connection. So they've only, stayed in love with each other in their heads, because they certainly didn't have something tangible. So it's all been emotion with the cups, with the water energy, with her as a Queen of Cups, and then it's been mental with the air. I think this is their opportunity. I mean, this is definitely him gravitating toward her now. This is where he's headed, and he's headed to her now. Can we just land the plane? Can we just get to the final card in all this? Death card. Are we surprised that all of this would be a major transformation? I would say this clicks perfectly in my brain. Of course, this is the way this has to go. Death card is major transformation. This was I'll say the upgrade of his life. How these two are able to connect, it will change both of their lives. They're finally going from this 5D realm where I know I resonate with you to now we can cohabitate. Now we can take something from that only existed in our hearts and in our minds. We can turn it into something here and now. And let's get started as fast as possible. These two have a lot of wasted time to make up for. Maybe we shouldn't say wasted, but they are ready to get started. I honestly feel like these two are going to end up, not only he's gravitating toward her, traveling toward her very swiftly. I'm definitely going to hunker down and say he's taking a flight to get to her. But that's it for these two. Like, he arrives and I think that they build. Yeah, Temperance. It's finally the right time. I'm not saying everything will be perfect, but I think these two are a perfect match after all. We don't get too many storylines like that, but this one is one. You guys, thanks so much for being here. Thanks again for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Really appreciate you guys. Lots of love. And I will see you guys throughout the week again as well, okay? If you're looking for zodiacs, you can check out any of the playlists that I have. I do all 13 zodiacs. Look for one today from Ophiuchus, also one for Libra and Leo today. All right, bye.